Hey guys, welcome back to Vince-Vell Customs. Today we are going to create a stand, not a base and not a custom statue, but a stand for a Joker exclusive head, so somebody can actually display the head on the side of the statue. So we'll explain what we're going to be doing here. Basically, somebody contacted me and they said, hey, can you create some kind of a stand where I can have my Joker head next to my Joker statue, so this way you're seeing both heads. Now, a lot of people, what they do is they buy the exclusives and you get two different heads, and usually people display their favorite head on the statue, but they pack the other one up in a box. But what we're doing here is we're going to actually create a base where we can have both heads on display. One's on the statue, one's next to the statue, and then you can switch them whenever you want. So, when the person contacted me and said, hey, I got this base, but it's damaged, blah, 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 can you use the base for anything? I was like, yeah, I could probably use the base down the line for something. And so it's like a kind of like a trade-off in a way. So I said, okay, we'll come up with some ideas. So we ran through some ideas, and some of them were working, some of them didn't work. So basically now what I think I came up with is something cool. We're going to utilize parts of the base for the stand. So, as you can see, this piece is what was broken off of the statue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize these two heads, since they're already broken off. And then I have this base here, which is just some generic resin base I had from something. I don't know where it was from or what. So the goal is we're going to create something going up here. And then I have a magnet. And then this head will be able to magnetize onto the base up there, so you're going to have it next to the statue. Now, of course, running into some issues, I have to actually create some resin here, get the magnet on top, and put these two heads around it. Now, as you can see with this base, this is very common with all these factories that do pre-paint statues, is, as I also showed you in my making a generic base video, basically you see resin pieces in there. There's an Arnold Terminator head, and then there's some, I think there's legs and parts and bodies and so on and so forth. So basically what you guys have to realize is resin, whether it's already dried and cured or it's in its raw form or liquid form. Basically, these factories, when they have damaged statues or pieces that break in while working on them, they don't throw them away. They put them into a bucket or whatever, and they use it to fill up resin bases or statues or whatever. So this is common. You might not know it, but there's probably tons and tons of statues out there that you own that have just random pieces thrown in there. Now, sometimes bases aren't as hollow as this. Sometimes they're thicker if it's a smaller base, but you know, I've stripped down bases where when I sand the bottom, you see all these little crazy little different color squares all over the thing. That's because they broke up a statue and they threw it all in. So, it's kind of funny though, you know. But the cool thing about this is I might be able to utilize this piece here. Now, I can't really tell, but it looks like it's not really in too well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to smack a hammer onto this and see if this breaks off. Now, if that breaks off, I can utilize that as part of the stand for this. And then what I can do is put the magnet up top, get the head in there, and put these two heads around it, and then paint it the same color as this, so it's kind of like a little side thing. It's kind of cool. So we're going to see if I can knock out that piece, and if I can, we'll just start putting it together. Now, this isn't something I'm actually going to go full-blown, mix up Avis and get it done. This is something that I'm doing at the side because it's not supposed to look super pretty, but it's just something where you got to stand for an extra head. So I'm going to try to knock this out. We'll be back if this works, and then if I can get that out, I'll try to just get this on and just get my basic generic stand going, and then from there we start working onto it. So let's see what happens. Alright, so basically I went out to the garage real quick, and I didn't really have to smack this thing. It basically just one little click real quick, and it just came off, so it wasn't really even on there pretty well. So as you can see, it's really a bigger Arnold Schwarzenegger head. It's kind of funny. I tried to smack that out, but that's in there pretty well, so I said, oh well, leave it as it is. But, so basically, I have my generic base getting there so far. So I know it's not pretty and stuff at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'll probably sand around here, and I'll probably bring it down a little bit. I don't want it up too high, trying to go with the base, you know. Don't want it to go too high, just kind of lower it. so I could get the maybe like one head there and then the other head like over there type thing. So basically I'll just sand it up and get it going. So once I get that going, we'll just take little videos on each night where I just throw in some extra aves and just get it going. And then once it's all set up, I'll you know, get the magnet, make sure the head fits in there pretty well, and we'll go from there. Alright, so basically at this point what I did was I attached the base and this little rod piece here together, and basically it's just messy all at the moment, but the goal is to have the magnet up there and then probably put a head or two like this, something like that. I don't know if I'm gotta figure out what to do. Probably heads like this, or maybe throw them like that. I don't quite know yet, but then I had this bow tie here. I was thinking maybe when I put the head up top, I could put the bow tie kind of like there, something like that. So it's just pretty much messing it all up and stuff. So this was some extra magic sculpt I had that I pushed around here for now. And then as I do some sculpting over the next couple nights, I'll I'll throw up these pieces and figure it all out. Not going to be super clean. It's not supposed to be all smooth. It's going to just be messy and all raggedy and just kind of all messy and just having fun with it. So that's pretty much where I'm at now, and we'll just keep updating as I go. Okay, it's pretty much the end of the night, and after some toying around, I'm going to put the two heads something like that. So it's kind of like they're pretty much pieced. Since it was cracked up and broken, I thought that looked pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is probably put a little bit lower because I'm going to be sanding this down a little bit. So we'll just do a fast video on how I get these up there with the last of the Avis and some of the glue. So the base is pretty much done. All we have to do is just final touch up now is basically getting this gap fixed, because you don't want to have a gap there. And the other thing is we don't want to put any kind of chemicals residue in messing up the head at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get saran wrap. I'm going to wrap saran wrap around the neck area and around the head just so I can handle the head but not get anything on it. And I can push some magic sculpt around there and let it sit for a while and then pop it in and out. So this way you get kind of a, you know, a key for the head to the base, and I'm not messing up the head at all. So that's pretty much how I'm going to set that up. And then once that's done, just pretty much ready to go paint up. As you can see, I didn't really focus on the back much because you won't really be seeing the back anyway. But what I'll do is I will put some more over here just to get this roughness look going up to there. But pretty much, you know, he's set. It's not top heavy. It's definitely ways down. And the head pretty much fits in there. So you can turn the head this way to this way, and you can still pretty much get the, you know, base and everything looking with it. So it's looking pretty good. So we'll just do a fast video on how I get that up. And afterwards we'll paint him up once he's all done. now it's time to paint up the generic bust. Basically, what I did was I primed this, and then I used Krylon flat black, got all that pretty much set up. And then after that, what I did was I mixed up a batch of color that's close to the base. Basically, what I found out that Sedattle tin bins and some copper from Tamiya mixed together gave me it pretty close, because I want it a little bit bright, but I didn't want it super dark like this. So this way it gets to the base, and then when I do shadowing, and basically I'm just hitting it down, and I'm leaving all the black down under there and everything, so this way you really don't have to mess with it too much, because all the black being in the shadows and everything and just going down, you pretty much get it done. And then afterwards I could go in with maybe some you know, pastels or something like that. So basically we'll just get this painted up now and we'll go from there. Okay, so next step is I'm going to use some women's makeup black to do this. Now, I used to use pastels, but I'm done with pastels. I hate having to scrape them, and I just never got a really good blend. So basically, someone told me a while back, use women's makeup. So I started using this, and I find it much better. It's finer. You just go into it, dab it, and you're ready to go. There's no scraping, no really big mess, and it closes pretty cool. I just found that you have to stay away from the ones that have like glitter in it. You have to just find the flat ones, and they work pretty good. And you can use the skin tones, blush, all that stuff. So basically now you just see me do a real quick video of how I just get into grooves and areas and just kind of darken up some stuff. Now, it's pretty much dark under here as it is, which is good, but we need to just get it hit with more. And then after that, I seal it and we're done. Alright guys, so here is the generic Joker head base. Basically, it's all done. It's kind of creepy looking actually, but which is funny. And you know, incorporating some of this stuff that was broken onto that. So now when I send it back to the client, he'll have the Joker head, a Joker statue here, the Joker head here, and he can just switch it in and out instead of having to go in a box, place it. It's kind of cool. So, as you can see, pretty simple, but a lot of fun. And next to the base, it's fairly decent size, so it gives you an idea, you know. So hopefully this gives everybody some ideas on, you know, if you have exclusive statues and there's an extra piece that you want to display, but you don't want it sitting in the box, you could come up with something fun and just run with it. So hopefully you guys like the idea. Hopefully, you know, it gives other people ideas, and we'll see you next time.